Good Wednesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window as we always do. And boy, it's a beautiful one out there today. This from this afternoon overlooking the Okanagan country up at Billy Goat camera on our Sky-Fi Tower camera, looking down where the Methow River meets the Columbia River. You can barely see Brewster and Pateros Town, kind of in the left center of your screen there. Just a few high clouds out there this afternoon, but what a day temperature-wise, with highs today in the mid to upper 60s, and this is going to continue, folks, right through the end of the week. We are expecting here in north central Washington temperatures 70 to 80 degrees as we move through Thursday and then into Friday, with low temperatures very mild in the 40s. And then this weekend, not so much rain and snow for us. That will be in the mountains and in eastern Washington, but we could see lots of wind on Saturday, and we'll talk more about that and more weather as well. It's going to be nice coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. Small businesses suffering under the public health emergency have a new source of grant funding. A fire on Twisp River Road burned a structure, injured a resident, then jumped across the river, but eventually was contained Tuesday nights after efforts from several firefighting agencies. And a semi-driver was going too fast on the Interstate 90 on-ramp in Ellensburg Tuesday afternoon and rolled onto the freeway. But first we begin tonight. 3 residents and 2 employees of the Bonaventure Senior Living Facility in East Wenatchee have now tested positive for novel coronavirus, and all 3 residents are now isolated in hospice care. Jeremiah Gray, Director of Operations for the Bonaventure Residential Care System based in Salem, Oregon, said the resident infections occurred among 3 people receiving outside medical care and assessment. Gray said they probably were infected by visiting care workers, and no residents that haven't had anyone visit from outside agencies have had any kind of positive tests. Bonaventure's East Wenatchee site, home to 169 senior residents, became the second local elder care facility to disclose cases of COVID-19 among residents and staff. In Wenatchee, Prestige at Colonial Vista reported Tuesday that 8 residents and 5 staff members in its assisted living department tested positive for the virus. 2 of those residents have died. 2 Bonaventure employees' test results are still pending, Gray said, but all other staffers have been tested for coronavirus with negative results. He said Bonaventure's network of care facilities began planning and supplying for the COVID-19 pandemic back in January. In other news, small businesses suffering under the public health emergency now have a new source of grant funding. The Working Washington Emergency Grant Program offers up to $10,000 for businesses that apply through their local economic development agency. In the Wenatchee Valley, that's the Chelan Douglas Regional Port Authority. Eligible businesses are those that have been operating for at least a year with up to 10 full-time employees. You can apply through the Department of Commerce at startup.choosewashingtonstate.com. Well, a fire on Twisp River Road burned a structure, injured a resident, then jumped across the river, but eventually was contained Tuesday night after efforts from several firefighting agencies. In the middle of all that, a portion of an access bridge collapsed under the weight of an Okanagan County Fire District 6 fire engine. According to the fire district, firefighters arrived shortly after 4 p.m. to find a storage building on fire close to the property's main structure. A resident was treated for burns, then transported to the hospital. Meanwhile, strong winds pushed the fire into grass and debris, then to a small island on the river before jumping to the opposite side. Firefighters from the Department of Natural Resources then took over the assistance from the Forest Service. Earlier, a 45,000-pound pumper truck was attempting to cross the access bridge when a wheel broke through a section of the wood decking. Firefighters still were able to use the water in the truck and later used rescue lift airbags to lift the wheel high enough to place down timbers and back the truck off that bridge. The DNR is investigating the cause of that fire. Well, a semi-driver was going too fast on Interstate 90 on-ramp in Ellensburg Tuesday afternoon and rolled onto the freeway. Nobody was injured, but the semi blocked an eastbound lane of traffic for almost 3 hours. Washington State Patrol Trooper John Bryant said the 25-mile-per-hour sign posted on the sharply turning on-ramp is advisory, but law highly recommended for all vehicles. Well, coming up next, an NCWLIFE man awaiting trial for assault and kidnapping must be shackled for court hearings after he allegedly set fire in his jail cell. Tree-boring insects more than doubled their area of damage in central Washington forests over the past year. Travelers on US 97A experienced some delays earlier today near Knapp's Tunnel as crews removed rocks from the roadside. And the state insurance commissioner is asking auto insurers to refund premiums to Washington drivers because most policyholders are driving less following the governor's stay home, stay healthy order. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Introducing the most capable Sierra lineup ever.
You want to help others. You need a solid career. You can have both with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, stop by our campus at 595 Grant Road across from Safeway, or visit chartercollege.edu.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
Welcome back. In other news, an NCWLIFE man awaiting trial for assault and kidnapping must be shackled for court hearings after allegedly setting a fire in his jail cell. 47-year-old Scott Anthony Glass also fashioned a weapon to attack staff when they responded during the March 12 incident, that according to corrections officers at the Chelan County Regional Justice Center. Glass was restrained at taser point. Judge Travis Brandt agreed March 30th to order Glass restrained in shackles during any court appearance until a further order. He allegedly pointed a handgun at another man on February 4th at a house on Ridgeview Lane and struggled with the man before Wenatchee police arrived. Police said they found knives, brass knuckles, and a 9mm handgun when they searched Glass and his vehicle. Well, tree-boring insects more than doubled their area of damage in central Washington forests over the past year, especially in Chelan and Kittitas counties. That's the findings of the new Forest Health Report from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, which says damage to Douglas firs from the tussock moth increased from 1,900 acres in 2018 to about 5,000 acres last year in forested areas along Blewett Pass. Also on Blewett, about 650 acres fell victim to pine beetle infestation. Both species of pests have also damaged forests in Okanogan County. They leave forest lands more vulnerable to risks like drought and wildfire. Well, travelers on US 97A experienced some delays earlier today near Knapp's Tunnel as crews removed rocks from the roadside. The Washington State Department of Transportation said rocks that often spilled down the hillside near the tunnel have filled the ditch and they needed removal. Flaggers were out controlling traffic during that work. The state insurance commissioner is asking auto insurers to refund premiums to Washington drivers because most policyholders are driving less following the governor's stay home, stay healthy order. Commissioner Mike Kreidler said Allstate, American Family Insurance, and Liberty Mutual have already announced such refunds nationwide, and he'd like to see more of the 120 companies that provide auto insurance in Washington follow suit. Allstate and Liberty Mutual are refunding 15% of their premiums, and American Family Insurance will be sending checks of $50 per car to its policyholders. Kreidler cited Governor Jay Inslee's comment last week that traffic on the state roads and highways is down as much as 50% over the last month. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Owner Andrew Vickery brings years of experience to help you transition your backyard into a place where memories are made, family time is looked forward to, and friends are always welcome. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa offers many different styles and sizes of artesian spas, both new and used, as well as residential and commercial pool and spa services, regular maintenance and repairs, and all the chemicals required to keep your pool and spa crystal clear. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa today.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. NCWLIFE is producing a series of public service announcements from people in our communities. Tonight we feature Washington State Patrol Trooper John Bryant with a message about COVID-19 in Spanish.
Hola, soy el patrullero John Bryant. Mantente en casa, mantente saludable, mantente seguro. Si bien hay menos tráfico, hay muchos conductores que no son esenciales. Estamos parando autos por violaciones excesivas, especialmente la velocidad agresiva. Puede recibir multas o algo peor. No preguntaremos si este es un viaje esencial. Coopere con las órdenes de quedarse en casa. Quedarse en casa es la mejor manera de protegerse mutuamente del coronavirus. Juntos podemos superar esta pandemia. Mantente en casa, mantente saludable, mantente seguro. Gracias.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. And what a day today, day number 1 today of just unbelievably nice stretch of weather over the next couple of days. And we'll get to that in a second. But first, this is what we enjoyed this afternoon here in the Wenatchee Valley, looking outside from our cross camera at Wenatchee Heights and our Sky-Fi Tower camera, thanks to LocalTel. And you can see a few high clouds above the mountaintops in the Wenatchee Valley. But for the most part, it was just absolutely fabulous out there today. Things are greening up and all of our blossoms are out around the Wenatchee Valley, looking great out there. Temperature wise, we were well above normal like you probably expected today. It sure felt like it. Unofficially 69 degrees out there today. 61 is our normal high temperature. 37 was where we started the day this morning. 40 is our normal low temperature, so just a little bit below that. How about 2016? Do you remember that just 4 years ago? 81 our record high temperature back then. 28 is our record low, and that was set back in 1973. Sunrise this morning, 6:25, and the sun will set tonight at 7:41. And I have a sneaky suspicion lots of you are going to be outside this evening. Let's take a look and see how your Thursday is going to shape up. And I'll tell you what, temperatures, that's right, on the way up as we make our way into the end of the week. This weekend, a little bit different story, but we'll show you that in a second. 76 tomorrow in Moses Lake, 75s for Quincy and Ephrata, 74 for the high temperature in Wenatchee tomorrow. Even up in Leavenworth, a beautiful 71 there. 72 Chelan and 74 as well, the high temperature up in Omak. Taking a look at our surface loop now, and a lot of warm weather and a lot of clear skies to show you tonight. Mostly clear and calm. We will see mild conditions. Right there is our high pressure area, clockwise rotation around highs, and that's bringing all of that subtropical warmth our way, and that's why we're seeing these temperatures well above normal, and we're going to see maybe even record-setting temperatures as we get into Friday. Thursday, sunny, light wind, even a little bit warmer. There's that high right there, and notice this orange patch right here on our temperature map. That's 80-degree readings, and we're going to see that down in the Tri-Cities on Thursday. Friday, too, we could be flirting with 80 degrees on Friday right here in north central Washington. A bit of a northwest breeze on Friday, and yes, just unseasonably warm as that high pressure intensifies. Saturday, a different ball game. A cold front comes barreling down out of Canada, and look at all of the windy conditions here and down into Oregon and parts of Idaho into Montana, where we could see wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour on Saturday. Folks, it's going to be much cooler too. We're talking about 10 to 15 degrees cooler on Saturday than Friday. Easter Sunday, it's going to be decent. Sunny skies, lighter winds, but cooler with high temperatures pretty much statewide where we should be for this time of year. And for us, that's around 60 to 61 degrees. On Monday then, mostly sunny skies, high pressure, and another ridge builds back in, so that means warmer temperatures as we get into the first part of next week. And by Tuesday, more of the same. Mostly sunny skies, high pressure in control. Here's our big ridge up and over the Pacific Northwest, and that means warmer temperatures. For Tuesday, we're talking highs in the mid-60s. Let's take a look now at your Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling 7-day forecast. Another mild one overnight tonight with 43 degrees expected. Look at these temperatures the next couple of days. 74 Thursday, 76 on Friday. Might move those up a little bit tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. And then a cool down, as I mentioned, for the weekend as a cold front moves through. Mostly sunny on both Saturday and Sunday. 63 Saturday, 60 your high temperature on Easter Sunday. And then as we get into our next work week, Monday and Tuesday, back to that beautiful weather. Mostly sunny skies both days with highs then in the mid to upper 60s. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
AC Checker has new owners who put customer service first. When you have to get there on time, call fast, friendly, reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. AC Checker has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee. Conditions apply. Call AC Checker, 663-TAXI to schedule your cab or schedule online at acchecker.com. Call American Classic Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
This is Caitlin Hedersheet, the producer of the NCWLIFE magazine. Each week, I'm bringing you a look behind the scenes of the faces, places, and events that make North Central Washington the place we call home. Tune in every weekday for an in-depth look at a new topic each week. From local artists in their studios to businesses breaking barriers that might surprise you and everything in between. Join me on the NCWLIFE magazine right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Wednesday to you. Staying home and staying healthy. I'm Eric Grandstrom on the NCWLIFE channel. The Seahawks may have bowed out of trying to get to re-sign Jadeveon Clowney. That's the latest news from the NFL. According to the NFL Network's Mike Garofalo, the chances are slim to none that Clowney is in a Seahawks uniform come 2020. Garofalo was on Seattle's 950 KJR yesterday talking about Clowney's chances of re-signing with Seattle. He said the Seahawks have moved on to plan B, C, and D. Seattle has added Benson Mayowa and Bruce Irvin to bolster its pass rush and are hoping for a healthy L.J. Collier this season. Seahawks have also have the 27th overall pick in the upcoming NFL draft. Sources report that Seattle offered Clowney a deal that would have paid him $18.7 million a year in free agency. The former number 1 overall draft pick was looking for more than $20 million at the time and turned the Seahawks down. Since then, he's lowered his asking price to $17 or $18 million, but the Hawks have moved on. Well, former Washington State coach Mike Leach is in hot water with his new employer after a tweet went awry last week. Mississippi State Athletic Director John Cohen released a statement Tuesday that said, quote, "No matter the context, for many Americans, the image of a noose is never appropriate, and that's particularly true in the South and in Mississippi," end quote. Leach apologized on social media last week for posting a tweet that drew criticism from Bulldog players and an assistant professor at the school before it was deleted. The image Leach tweeted depicted an elderly woman knitting with the caption, "After 2 weeks of quarantine with her husband, Gertrude decided to knit him a scarf." But the picture showed her knitting a noose with a hangman's knot already in it. Leach will reportedly undergo some listening sessions to further expand his cultural awareness of Mississippi. Well, Major League Baseball and its players are focusing in on a plan to potentially start the season in May with all 30 teams playing in the desert in Arizona. The plan would dictate that all 30 teams play at stadiums with no fans in the Phoenix area, including Arizona Diamondbacks Chase Field, 10 spring training facilities, and perhaps nearby fields. Players, coaching staffs, and other essential personnel would be sequestered at local hotels where they would live in relative isolation and travel only to and from the stadium. Federal officials at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, as well as the National Institutes of Health, have been supportive of this plan. If Major League Baseball can guarantee the plan would adhere to strict isolation and promote social distancing, it would become the first professional sports team to return playing ball. Well, since so many of us are staying home and staying healthy, I thought it would be a good idea to share some obscure sports-related movies that you might want to check out. Today, it's The Battered Bastards of Baseball. It stars Kurt Russell in the as well as the Portland Mavericks, independent baseball team from the 1970s. The story centers on Kurt's dad, Bing Russell, an actor who played the deputy on Bonanza, who bought a minor league baseball team in the Rose City.
Long before steroids and multi-million-dollar contracts, there was a truly independent ball club. A bunch of guys who were hopeless dreamers looking for a second chance. In short, the best kind of people.
When we first heard about Bing Russell, there was this buzz about, well, who's Bing Russell?
And he was in the Magnificent Seven, and he's the sheriff from Bonanza.
My dad got killed 126 times, I think it was.
Why would Bing Russell come to Portland?
Bing was out to prove that independent baseball could work.
I think we charged Bing $500 for the franchise.
So we started from scratch. We're going to have open tryouts. Show us for the fools that we are, coming from Hollywood.
You'd expect maybe 40 or 50 people to show up, and I think 300 showed up.
Guys who drove, clear across the country and sacrificed this or sold this just for the chance to come and try out for the team.
I don't care, about the money. I just want to play ball.
There was no press handlers. There was no groomed image. There was just these furry, hairy, funny, great bunch of guys. And the things that happened on the field were absolutely insane.
Organized baseball didn't like Bing, and they did everything they could to make sure Bing didn't win.
You couldn't stand him. They couldn't stand him.
Portland is the greatest baseball city in the world.
We broke attendance records in the entire minor leagues that year.
We really emphasized fun.
The fans loved it.
I've never seen a ball team and fans behave the way they did with the Mavericks.
He created the most successful team in the history of minor league baseball. This is going to be magic.
Battered Bastards of Baseball is not rated. It's a documentary, and if you love baseball in the Pacific Northwest and documentaries of these types, I certainly would recommend it. I'll have more on my choice of movies to play at home as we continue to stay home and stay healthy. I'm Eric Granstrom with NCW Life Channel Sports. Grant, back to you.
Eric, I love that documentary too and highly recommend it. Fantastic. Finally tonight, the city of Entiat set out its thanks today to the Washington National Guard for its help in resupplying their food bank. 10 Guard members were dispatched to Wenatchee last week to help food distribution efforts here in the Wenatchee Valley. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. Join me tomorrow, Thursday, for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll have everything you need to start your day the live and local way. We will continue to watch my hair grow. I haven't had a haircut since February 12th. This is getting out of control, but I can't get my hair cut until early May. So we'll watch my hair grow live on television. My hair hasn't been this long since Elvis was still dead. That's how long my hair has been. Join me tomorrow for everything you need to start your day live and local. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, 7 a.m. from this very studio. Grant, back to you.
Thanks, Dan. And quit complaining. I haven't had my haircut since January 16th. Well, let's take a look. We have a little time at our Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling 7-day forecast. And I'll tell you what, folks, it is going to be gorgeous out there. Tomorrow, we can expect sunny skies and even warmer temperatures. 70 today, 74 tomorrow, and all the way up to 76 on Friday. And I'm thinking I maybe even will tick these temperatures up a little bit tomorrow morning when we have our new weather forecast. Mostly sunny, quite a bit cooler as we get into our Easter weekend, though. Even though we will see lots of sun, keep in mind, Saturday will not only be cooler, it is going to be much windier on Saturday. We could see winds 20 to 30 miles an hour. And I'll tell you what, you folks in the Columbia Basin and maybe the Waterville Plateau could see wind gusts as high as 40 to 50 miles an hour Saturday afternoon. We could see some falling trees and also possible power outages as we get into Easter Sunday on Sunday. Things will mellow out a little bit as far as wind goes on Sunday. Still sunny skies for Sunday and Easter. Cooler. We'll see a high temperature. Temperatures about normal on Sunday at 60 degrees. And then as we get into another work week, at least for some of us, mostly sunny on Monday and warmer and 65, and even better for Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies then with high temperatures near 70. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us. Stay safe and have a great night.
The NCW Life Channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's learn. Guada TV. Street Talk and Other Stuff. The 12th District. Life with Lisa. And the Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Life Channel is your local TV station.
With TV advertising, what we want to do is more deeply connect with the community.
People spot me in different parts around North Central, Costco and Wenatchee, say, hey, you're the pizza guy. And so they wouldn't know that if it weren't for the TV commercials we've done.
We've been here so long that people already know who we are and what we do, but to have that image flash on their television screen as opposed to just hearing it in the radio or seeing it in the newspaper. I just love the fact that we can actually put our finger on when a customer comes in and says, I saw your ad.
It's becoming increasingly difficult in this digital age to know where are your customers listening or watching, because I watch all the different channels that they watch too, like Cooking Channel, History Channel, and so it was wonderful to be able to be on there.
I would say that if you want to do business in Wenatchee, then you should connect with the people of Wenatchee, and there's no better way to do that than with NCW Life.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
Do you have a fun or interesting video you'd like to see featured here on the NCW Life channel? It's easy. All you have to do is send us an email at newsphotos@ncwlife.com. For all the latest news in North Central Washington, go to ncwlife.com or find us on Facebook. Got a news tip? Email us at news@ncwlife.com or call 888-2020.
I'm Jim Corcoran.
And I'm Ken Osborne.
And you're watching the NCW Life channel.